Good morning, friends. Happy to see some of you in here. We got 1970, of course. My supportive husband always jumping in. Yankee Cajun 1, good to see you. And Highland Girl 05. Happy to see you all in here. I thought we would go over kind of a couple of different things because I got a document this morning from a friend that I'm pretty sure we've seen before. But every time, Greene County re-releases this information, sometimes there's a little bit more in there. And there's a couple of things that I don't remember seeing before. Maybe I just forgot it. So I thought we'd go over that. And haven't heard back from this friend yet whether or not they want to be credited by name. So if they let me know, then I will definitely do that. Hey, Peppermint Marie, good to see you. Ruth Carroll, Panda Butt, Kanya McNully, Z Raven Girl, good to have you all in here. So the document is, hey, Rainbow Ribbons, good to see you. The document is Gypsy's prison disciplinary report. Like I said, most of it we've seen, but there was one part that I was like, I don't remember that. And I thought it would be interesting to kind of go over that real quick before we start in on the Dominic and Macckenzie stuff. Hey, Marie Kell, glad you made it in. Prentice One, good morning. All right, let me share this document. I keep checking my phone to see if they've messaged me back about crediting them or not. Excuse me. Okay, so this came Missouri Department of Corrections. It was certified May 4th, 2026. And like I said, it goes over Gypsy, inmate 1302048's disciplinary records. And a lot of these are not new, but whenever we get to it, it's not super long. I mean, it's 39 pages, but whenever we get to it, I'll tell you the part that I didn't remember. So we've got, 2022, used another offender's pen, transfer of property between offenders, 2021, unauthorized article of substance, 2021, failure to comply with an order, 2021, use another offender's pen, failure to abide by any rule. I don't know what that means. I assume it just means she broke a rule and they weren't required to list it. And this one says absent from area, out of position in 2019. Failure to comply with order 2019. Funds deposit in another offender's account. Now, this one, I saw Gypsy Rose talk about this in her prison emails, but I didn't remember seeing this disciplinary write-up in the documents from previous FOIAs that go over this stuff. So that's the one we're going to talk about. You'll see whenever I get down to that part. The rest of it, we've got altered by applying permanent design. That's very reminiscent of Macckenzie Sharilla altering clothes. But she doesn't seem to have continued it over and over. Now, what she did continue over and over was the funds transfers, the pay pigs, and using other inmates' pins. She didn't do it often enough to affect her parole, but she did do it multiple times. Tobacco product in unauthorized area. Failure to comply with an order in 2017. Transfer of property between offenders in 2017. Failure to abide by account procedures in 2017. Use of system in unauthorized manner in 2017. Okay, before we get to the details, let me check comments real quick. Oh, awesome. Thank you, 1970, through memberships. I've been actually pulling some of my older videos, like videos I made practicing painting, not practicing painting, I know how to paint, but practicing making videos before I started this channel and putting them in the membership section. So lots of interesting stuff I'm trying to get in there. Highland Girl says, when people say howdy, I just imagine Andy from Toy Story. That's cute. Murray Kell says, do we know why she'd be using someone else's pen? What she use it for? Yeah, to circumvent the prison rules that only allow you to be on the phone a certain amount of minutes per hour. So like she'd run out and trade something to other prisoners to get their pen for more talk time. To key in or her pay pigs, all that kind of thing. Hey, Lizbeth, good to see you in here. Okay, let me switch back Said 1970 is the GOAT. Yes, he is. He's awesome. Hey, Pat's in pajamas. Good to see you in here. McCatherine. Jelly the best. Appreciate y'all jumping in. Okay, good to see you, Joe King Rogue. I'm going to switch back to the document and read some of the more detailed stuff. Oh, that's funny. Panda Bet says biscuits and gravy. That's, oh, if you know, you know. Oh, my Lord. um, yeah, Gypsy. I don't think she ever got written up for this, but she claims that she traded a sexual favor to another inmate for because she wanted to eat their biscuits and gravy. So, yeah. Oh, man. Rainbow Ribbon says 1970 going to have our other half sweating with these standards. He is awesome, y'all. I am very, very lucky girl. Awesome. You're welcome. Congrats to everyone who got memberships. Hey, Trip the Light, fantastic. Good to see you in here. Trip the Light, fantastic. Made some of my fan art behind me. Funko Pop Millie and her daughter made the felted Dave and Coda and George. They're so cute. All right, now I am going to switch back to reading, and then I'll come check in on comments after a bit. Okay, this one is 2017. On the above date and approximate time while processing outgoing mail, it was discovered that offender Blanchard Gypsy 1302048 was attempting to circumvent mail by mailing out an altered photo to have sent to an offender. This places offender Blanchard in violation of Rule 38.5b, abuse of telephone, mail, and finance. Offender states, I won't do it again. So she admitted it. She's not near as defiant as Macckenzie. I don't think Gypsy has it in her to mouth off the way Macckenzie does and just be like, what? Gypsy's more the burst into tears type, even though she doesn't exactly learn her lesson. She doesn't have the defiance that Kinsey does. Joe King Rogue says audio issues. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. It doesn't look like anyone else is having any. Hey, Stacia001. Good to see you. Triple A says, I'm always in here listening, just not always commenting. Good. Hey, Amelia Essentials. Good to see you in here. I have not yet. I'm curious about it. Trip says, Jip tried to ask young baby voice on and then light. Yep. Stacia says, Jip is more the pity me type. Burst into dry tear ducts. Yeah, that's way more accurate. You know, it's weird. Macckenzie makes Gypsy look saintly. Yeah, it is weird. It's a weird feeling. Jip is like, I'm just a baby. Yeah, it's like kind of like how Natalie Sharilla, Mackenzie's mom, was like, she was just so little, you know. Oh man. Okay, let me get back to reading here. Okay, she got 8 hours extra duty, confiscated letter, and altered photos. I wonder what exactly she was trying to send out. And it says to another offender. I think we do remember she was kind of dating that one guy who is also in jail or prison or something or other. Someone who was another, like a male inmate of somewhere in Missouri, posted letters that she sent him on eBay. Now, I know other people who've been in prison or had family members in prison have said they weren't allowed to have contact. Sorry, I'm hiccuping, friends, for my coffee. So they weren't allowed to have contact with other offenders, but for whatever reason, it seems in Missouri that is allowed some way. No idea. Peppermint Marie says Gypsy had this need for everyone to think she's as good. Yep. Kanye McNally said, I'm a good girl. Oh, yeah. She says that all the time, still to this day. Joe King Rogue says, much better. Okay, good. Glad the audio cleared up. No worries, Peppermint Marie. Lisbeth says she loves the drama. She's like a character in Twilight. That's what she wants to be. Character in Twilight or in Ruby, the V.C. Andrews book. Remember when we went over the parallels or stolen storylines that it appears she's taken from Ruby? Like, yeah, it's wild. Pat says, so happy to catch a live finally. I'm glad you're in here. Yeah. Murray Kell says, I don't doubt that she confuses movies like Twilight with her real life. Definitely. I think she tries to make her real life into those stories, honestly. Whenever she was telling Keen and Ryan that she's Bella. Rainbow says, I believe Rachel Garlick introduced them to each other too. Yeah, there was this one lady who was in prison with Macckenzie Shirilla. And she said, I actually did a video on this and I clipped her. And she said specifically, it was funny because she was talking about Mackenzie, but she goes, Mackenzie is on those websites, Prison Princess and Paper Dolls, the websites where Gypsy Rose met Ryan and Ken. I thought that was interesting. Hey, Ria, good to see you in here. She said, I was in the wrong live learning about tinfoil. That was a fun live yesterday. Amber and Alora from Into the Weeds and I did a little tinfoil hat tutorial and just kind of laugh and joke about the head of FEMA claiming that he was teleported to a Waffle House by a UFO. It's strange times here in America, friends. Murray Kell said she has two stories in her head and doesn't know which is real. Oh, yeah, I bet she's got more than that. Pat in pajamas says, that's what I thought. Here it is a big no-no, provincial like your states or federal. Yeah, and in other states, it seems like it's a big deal. Oh, my name is pronounced like Candy Cane. Kane McCulley. Sorry about that. All right, Kane McCulley. I will try to remember that. It doesn't even actually make sense now that I'm looking at it that it would be Kanye. The Y and the N isn't right for that. I'm not diagnosed with dyslexia, but I feel like I see things that way at times. Thank you for correcting me, Kane. Mari Kell says, yes, the Shrimp Boat Tycoon book. McCatherine says, didn't we see Jip did searches before the crime about being addicted to drama? That feels correct. Man, I looked at so many of those searches and some I wish I didn't see that I kind of lost that in my brain space. Chip the Light says, too bad she's Smeagol. Oh, man. Panda, how many people was Jib talking with? She had a woman pay pig for a time too. Actually, I don't think it was a woman. I think Amber made a mistake there because they said that they had grandkids, but we never actually found anyone where that one confirmed their gender for sure. Z Raven Girl says Cat Crowder said that. I must have missed a quote there. Panda said that was the right live tinfoil. Serenity Hope says, oh no, I caught the end. Oh no, we're still at the beginning here. We've only been going 13 minutes, but yeah, no worries. Glad to have you in here. Alora says busy, but listening when I can. Glad to have you in here, Alora. Ruth says, I'll be back. Good deal. Rainbow Ribbon says, I saw Kanye too. Thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one. But yeah, Kane McCulley. All right, let me get back to reading here. We got another 2017. This one is, let's see how long. She at least got 4 months between violations. Macckenzie Shirilla, like sometimes it was barely 4 days. Okay, it says on the above date and approximate time, the reporting officer was conducting 11:30 a.m. count. This report approached room 7A0202 and observed offender Blanchard Gypsy laying down sleeping on bunk A. The above actions place offender Blanchard in violation, interfering with the count. Oh yeah, she was supposed to be up for count and she went back to sleep. So what does she have to say for herself? It doesn't look like they recorded a statement from her. Yep, no offender statement. That one's kind of boring. Gypsy slept in. No shock there. Then we go 3 months. October 17, 2017, transfer property between offenders. On the above date, approximate time, while checking canteen receipts. Coming back from 7 house, reporting officer checked offender Coleman, Marcia, 2 canteen bags full of canteen items. Upon asking offender Coleman for her receipt, offender Coleman claimed possession of the 2 bags of canteen and stated she threw the receipt away. Upon confiscation of the bags of canteen, it was found that the belongings belonged to offender Blanchard Gypsy 1302048. A receipt for 2 picture tickets with offender Blanchard's name was inside of the cigarette filter plastic bag. Offender Blanchard was nowhere to be found on the walk around offender Coleman. Property removal, disposition, offender statement. I asked her to carry my bags because I have poor upper body strength. What poor upper body strength. She spent years in a wheelchair. Shouldn't she, if anything, claim to have great upper body strength? What the hell? Plus, I mean, we all saw her in those dancing videos. We know she was not emaciated or anything like that whenever she went into prison. Oh my lord, how funny. Time to go feed Barack Obama, my sourdough starter. I love that. That's so cute. Offender Blanchard is my new name for her now. Nice rainbow. Pass and Pajama says approached room, not cell. Yeah, from what I understand, the once they're in prison, not a jail, that's actually kind of more like dorm rooms. I don't think Gypsy was completely off balance whenever she said that it was kind of like a college dorm. That's what it sounds like, honestly. Yeah, we all love the Barack Obama. Okay, let me get back to reading. Um, extra duty, confiscated the canteen, blah, blah, blah. Nothing really interesting there. When we go to the next month, um, September 2017, failed to comply with an order. On the above date and approximate time, this reporting officer observed offender Blanchard, Gypsy 1302048, and her visitor engaging in an open-mouthed kiss. At this time, I have pulled offender Blanchard aside and let her know that that was not acceptable behavior. Visiting room policy states offenders and visitors would be allowed one greeting and departing embrace with a brief closed-mouth kiss. That would have been her and Kian. Gypsy is very proud of that. She says he kissed her like a porn star. Her statement is, I am so sorry. At least she admitted it. She didn't try to play that one off. They gave her some extra duty, like 8 hours again. And then we go to 2018, January. She's averaging about 3 or 4 months between offenses. Tobacco product unauthorized area. Smoke alarm initiated, causing evacuation. Observed cigarette smoke in the cell near the fence. Offender Blanchard, Gypsy 1302048, was in the cell at the time. These actions place her in violation, creating a disturbance. She says, I was smoking in the room about 20 minutes after the fire alarm went off. No one else was smoking. Yeah, we'll see. 10 days living restricted area. Yeah, they didn't believe her apparently. And you would think they would have enough, cameras on him or something or other to know proof of that or not. Panda Butt says, does Gypsy still smoke? I haven't seen her smoking since her and Kian first got back together, and there was that picture of her and Kian outside a Dollar General smoking cigarettes. But yeah, Markel says, Pan was right there and I didn't think of it. Trip, love it. Yeah, we're all still geeking out over the dough names. They're awesome. I have one for white bread called Dolila. So cute. Kane, she says that she smoked some before prison. I don't know. Now there was in the bathroom, in her and Dee Dee's bathroom in the crime scene pics, there was some stuff in the bottom of the toilet. I thought at first that it looked like cat litter in the bottom of there, but a lot of people who smoke said, no, no, no. As a smoker, that is 100% ashes in the bottom of the toilet. So that could have been her cigarette butt outside of the house that was in the crime scene pics, and her perhaps ashen in the toilet. Oh, Trip corrected me, pronounced like Delilah. Delilah. Yeah, Delilah. That makes sense. Cute, cute. Okay. Let me go back here. Oh, she goes 9 months before the next offense, October 2018. On the above and approximate time, I received news of offender Blanchard, Gypsy 1302048. It looks like around this time they start dropping the E on her name. Possibly having a new tattoo. Offender Blanchard was asked about the new tattoo, and she admitted to doing a K on her right ankle. Offender Blanchard stated she used a needle and pencil shavings. Offender statement, no statement. 8 hours extra duty. That was her K for Keen. Man, I know pick and pokes are pretty common, but pencil shavings, like, ugh, sounds freaky. It just freaks me out, the thought of it. Yeah, Triple Eight Fantastics, it sounds like Infection City for real. Maury says, great minds. Oh, they're talking about singing to their dough. Awesome. um, so for the next offense, it goes to May 9th, 2019. On the above date and approximate time, uh, officer confiscated a silver colored ring that was in possession of offender Blanchard 1302048. I guess it's just different officers because this one at a later time is back to using the E again. It was discovered the ring is not listed on offender Blanchard's personal property list, therefore making it contraband. These actions place offender Blanchard in violation of Rule 24.1. Offender statement, no, sir. No, sir, what? Like, sir, I need a lawyer? Like, I don't know. Anyway, they took her ring, gave her activities restriction, verbal warning, blah, blah, blah. What's interesting though is that's 2019 with Kian, and in no time she gets, well, it's not really no time, it's a couple of years, but she does the same thing with Ryan. Panda Butt says thought she was squeamish of blood. I don't, she probably has said that. I don't remember hearing that particularly, but like I said, I probably forgot stuff about Gypsy just from brain overload. Oh man, I can just imagine, Pats. Hey, Miss Hi-Fi, glad you're in here. Um, every time someone questions her alibi, Steve Shirley cries. Sir, I need a lawyer, sir, Murray Kell says. Right. Oh man. Oh, good point. Pats in Pajamas says, I don't buy that. Talking about Gypsy being squeamish on blood, not with all her love of every vampire thing out there. That's a good point. Kane says, why was she so into vampires? Yeah, good question. Because that kind of seemed to be a thing independent of her and Nick. Okay, so next one, just the very next month. Funds deposited another offender's account. Oh, this is crazy. I'm going to scroll up a little bit and cover that name. Anyway, it says on this date, reporting staff came into possession of several emails sent from a person to, it says civilian and then his name, to offender Blanchard 1302048, which said, tell Wendy, I hope this helps. The second email was sent to offender Lockhart on 621, which says, I sent Gypsy 20, take care. Upon review of offender Blanchard's account, civilian blank deposited $20 into Blanchard's account on 6/22/2019, and the mother of offender Lockhart deposited $65. The above actions place offender Blanchard and Lockhart in violation of Institutional Rule 38.2, abuse of telephone, mail, and finance by causing funds to be deposited into another offender's account or having funds from another offender deposited into your account. She was doing the pay pig stuff in 2019. This is right around the time I believe that her and Kian were breaking up. I don't know if they were broken up at this time or not because they go back and forth so much. But yeah, this dude was sending money to her and a bunch of other people, and they were openly talking about it in the emails. And he said amounts too. I wonder if this is why Gypsy started being slightly more coded in her later goddess emails and just using the dollar sign. She'd be like, can you send dollars? Murray, so what it was is it was a civilian sending the money, but they realized that that civilian sending the money was writing multiple offenders in the prison saying, hey, I sent money to this one, I sent money to this one, and they were trading things. And then the guy sent money to the offender. someone who was in prison with Gypsy, and then that offender's mother put it in Gypsy's account, which is something we've all suspected that Christy was taking part in as well, like manipulating money around in ways that Gypsy wasn't allowed to have with people who wanted to send it to her. And Mackenzie Sharilla's mom was doing that as well. We heard in one of the jail calls, Mackenzie explaining that Natalie needed to put, I think it was like 10, $20 on this other girl's books. And then that girl was going to give Mackenzie coffee because she missed getting her coffee ordered. Natalie was like, oh, okay, no problem. I don't know if she doesn't care or what, that obviously Mackenzie can get wrote up for that. Like, I wonder sometimes if the parents actually don't want her to get parole and they figure doing interviews and supporting her the way that they are is actually the best way to prevent her from getting parole. Okay, awesome. Just got a message and I see she's here. TA Swifty fan 13 is the one who requested this record and shared it with me this morning. So wanted to give her credit and thank her for doing that. Like I said, there are a lot of parts in it I'm positive we've seen before in other FOIAs, but there are parts that I just don't remember seeing, like this that we just read, being in this much detail. I remember hearing about this particular instance from reading Gypsy Rose's prison emails and her telling different people that she was in trouble about money and being investigated. So, yeah, I don't remember seeing this in her DOC files until I got this here from TA Swifty. So, really appreciate that. I want to thank her and credit her. She does have a channel. I don't think she does videos yet, but she's planning on doing lives whenever she gets her subscribers up there. Murray Kell says Mackenzie does not seem to care at all about the rules in there. No, she really doesn't. It's like she doesn't care about getting parole, and neither do her parents because they just encourage whatever the heck is she wants to do, regardless of how it's going to affect her future. Just crazy. Murray Kell says it honestly seems like a maturity issue with her. I don't think she fully grasps cause and effect, or that she's jeopardizing her possible release. Right? Yeah, I don't know if that seems very likely with her parents. I don't know what on earth it is. Like, yeah. Pat Simchama says, hey, TA Swifty, thank you. Rainbow, thank you. Yes, we all appreciate it, TA Swifty. And that's why she didn't answer me right away. Pat Simchama's maturity is not an issue. Prettiest prisoner, according to her. Oh, I can see her saying that in a phone call. Yeah, I have to stop listening to her phone calls sometimes, unless like another YouTuber, AG Tactical, is real good at covering them and breaking down, because whenever I'm trying to listen to him, if I'm not on a live stream where I can just rant about him, I'd rather hear another YouTuber ranting about it too and break up the constant, like, just ignorance coming out your ears from Mackenzie and Natalie at the same time. Oh, man. Rainbow says a very damning representation of other prisoners, right? McCatherine, Kenzie's parents encourage her to break rules as long as she's happy. They don't care. That's what it really seems like. That's why I wonder, like, do they even care about her getting paroled? Maybe life's easier with her in there. Joking Rogue says Mackenzie Shrill and her parents act the same while she's on the inside as outside. They will never change. That's a good point. Yep, probably correct. Prisoner is prisoner. That and a buck will get you a pack of gum. That's funny. Tony 1300 says they all think Mackenzie is invincible. Yeah, I think she believes so even more than ever, since she's the only one who survived the crash, BM Butterfly 73 says, I've heard it mentioned before their parents feel a relief that she is in jail, the way they don't have to deal with her. That's what I'm really starting to think, because everything they say is just honestly bad for her and for her image and for, bringing up any support for her. So I'm like, could they really actually not see it? Or do they just actually want her to stay in there but don't want her to know? Oh, yeah, AG cracks us up, y'all. Oh, no, these are actually Gypsy's, pats and pajamas. I've just been comparing them, and I've read Mackenzie's before, so, yeah, we're just talking about both of them. These are Gypsy's at the moment. Then I'm gonna read some more of, Mackenzie and Dom's text here in a bit. Amos Hi-Fi says, "You hit the nail on the head with ignorance. I assume they take pretty privilege and white privilege seriously." Yeah, they seem to give Mackenzie just every single privilege possible, in their way of viewing her. All right, let's see here. So for that, she gave no statement. She got living area restricted and oh, I don't know. Looks like that's all she got. Not really a lot of the consequences for prison violations, honestly. Okay, then not much later at all. She's in trouble for having stuff on her bed that, blocks count again. And trying to see if she makes a statement. No, I don't see no statement. Then we go to the next month. Absent from area, out of position. She got extra duty. So failing to be, she was asleep again, basically lying on her bunk, failing to be seated in upright position for count. This is still September 2019. It seems like she kind of, wilded out a little bit late 2019. Maybe that was after her and Keen broke up. Okay, and then we get to June 2020. Um, Oh, interesting here. It says on the above date and approximate time, while processing outgoing censored emails, it was discovered that offender Blanchard, Gypsy number 1302048, was attempting to mail out sexually explicit emails. This places offender Blanchard in rule violation of Rule 41.1 Procedures and Rules. Emails attached for documentation, but they don't show us the emails. So she got a verbal warning, and it looks like that was it. Any statement? No, no statement. And then she goes into the next year, almost a year, April 2021, use of another offender's PIN. On the above date and approximate time, I questioned offender Blanchard, Gypsy 1302048, about allegations she was using the PIN of other offenders to make phone calls. This was done in a way to circumvent the system in place, limiting offenders spending too much time on the phone each hour. During my questioning, Blanchard admitted to using the PIN numbers and was apologetic, stating she would not do it again. Now, that's where she differs from Macckenzie. I don't think Macckenzie would ever admit and apologize, but Gypsy is weaker than Macckenzie. That's for dang sure. Offender pleaded guilty. Offender statement, I'm sorry. 30 days property impound, TV and headphones. Wow, actual consequences. No real consequences for the pay pagan ever. Failure to comply with an order. Um, oh, this is where, okay, on the above date and approximate time, the above offender failed to comply with quarantine isolation rule number 2. This rule directs offenders to wipe off any machines in the wing with cleaning sanitizing solution with the provided cleaning bottles. The list of rules and expectations were provided to her on 7/18/21, and these rules are posted in the wing. She's also been giving multiple verbal directives to wipe down everything she touches when out of her cell and for rotation. This puts her in violation of 20.1, disobeying an order, sanitary, committing acts which create a hazard to hygiene conditions, and safety, committing an act that is potentially hazardous to the health of any person within the facility. Offender statement, I didn't see any spray, so I never sprayed, but I did wipe down the phone and kiosk. I don't think she actually did because I remember reading her prison emails where she was freaking out about this. And she was talking about how she got caught for not wiping it down. Yeah, I think she lied a little bit there, but, whatever. Um, Fender plead guilty, plea accepted, 8 hours extra duty to be completed. See what I mean? Like 1 day's work, basically. Although I think she only worked about an hour at a time, so that would be 8 days work. Okay, then we go to December 2021. Says on the above date and approximate time, this reporting officer observed offender Blanchard, Gypsy 1302048, with a ring on her left finger. We're in 2021, December 2021. So this is where she's repeating the same thing of what with Ryan of what she did with Keen. Because we saw her get in trouble in 2019 for a silver ring with Keen. Now in 2021, it says on the above date and approximate time, the reporting officer observed her with a ring on her left ring finger. After checking the offender's personal property list and finding she did not have such an item listed, she was removed from the visiting area where the ring was removed and property removal was issued. Ring was yellow gold in color with one large stone in the center, approximately 10 tiny stones cascading onto each side. This places her in a violation of contraband rule. No statement. Offender pleaded guilty, waived right to hearing. She got visiting restriction extending into January 2022. Extra duty 8 hours. Ring is confiscated. So, recommend action of deputy warden. 90 days, no contact visits. Yeah, she got a little more trouble there probably because she did the same thing again. So if she had kept doing the same thing over and over and over, um, she probably would have gotten a little more trouble, maybe with her parole even. Kung Fu says it's okay to scam people for money, but you must sanitize everything after. Okay, got it. Yeah, probably because the prison employees are worried about their own health in that instance, where with her just scamming people for money, they're like, we're not going to give her anything, so whatever. Pat in pajamas says the last ring she ever got from Keen. Oops. Oh man. How is that okay? Soliciting money and not sanitizing. For the love of God, sanitizer, right? Well, it was during COVID, so they had extra rules, but yeah. King McCauley laughing at the craziness here. Um, yeah, she did buy it off an inmate, apparently. She exchanged some stuff to get it from another inmate. So technically she still hasn't got a ring from Keen ever, but that's the last one that she wore while being with Keen that we know of. Crazy old Keen. All right. She was restricted, all kinds of stuff here. Transfer property between offenders. Uh Dang, this is September 2022. So this is just, a little bit later. We're doing the same thing again. On the above date and approximate time, offender Blanchard, Gypsy 1302048, admitted to receiving 237-cent stamps from offender Campos, Sasha. This places Blanchard in violation of CDV 24.4, transferring property between two offenders. Violation is delayed due to receiving further information. Property removal was done and items sent to property. Oh, I bet this was maybe what she traded for the ring. Well, I don't know. That seems like very little for a ring. Who knows? But either way, I just wanted to point out this is kind of funny. Earlier, I was trying to develop a theory on when they use Blanchard with an E versus Blanchard without an E. And it has it both ways within this same report written by the same person. So clearly there's no rhyme or reason to it. Says offender pleaded guilty, waived right to hearing, activity restriction, recommended, approved, confiscate and dispose, blah, blah, blah. September 2022, use of another offender's PIN. She does that so often. She got more sanctions and restrictions here. This is another one of the few things that she kept repeating. A lot of things she managed to resist. She didn't alter her clothing more than once and other things, but man, she had to get on that dang phone. Activity restrictions, findings guilty. She pled guilty. Doesn't look like she made a statement. I don't see a statement. And that is the end of that one. Let me check comments, y'all, and then we'll go into Macckenzie and Dom's stuff. Hey, Flower Power, good to see you in here. Flower Power is an OG listener. She, if I remember right, correct me if I'm wrong, Flower Power, because sometimes I get confused between people's YouTube names versus their emails. But aren't you the one who made the Dee Dee Blanchard and Stephanie Goldhammer Memorial Rose Garden that I showed in a video? Kian said prison marriages don't count. Oh, that shows what he thinks of her contraband ring. Highland Girl's got headphones on while cooking. What you cooking, Highland Girl? That sounds fun. Thank you for being here. Murray Kell says Ken didn't buy euchre love. Rainbow says neither do ones outside of prison, apparently. Yeah, their whatever Gypsy and Ryan's marriage became real, suddenly it didn't matter to Kian or Gypsy. Kung Fu says 5 golden no rings, 4 pay pigs, 3 charges, 2 fiancés, and a baby that nobody has seen. Great lyrics there. Thank you. Ruth Carroll is back. Good to see you. Highland says baked potato with cheese and coleslaw. Nothing exciting. Well, that sounds pretty good. I can't think about it too much, or I'll have to get off here and go make myself some. All right, let me pull up Dom and Mackenzie. I'm gonna turn off camera here for a minute for an indulgent reason that I believe y'all know. Just a second here. Let me find where they are. I thought I had it bookmarked, but of course I can't find it at the moment. There goes my aggressive typing again, friends. Here is the link. If I didn't need it, it would be right in front of me, y'all. There we go, found it. Okay, let me do some scrolling here. Try and make sure I get to where I was. I think I was just about to the end of February whenever we went off last time. Pannabutt knows what's up. Oh, man. Murray Kellis's beautiful rendition. Put it on Spotify. I need needs Kung Fu to finish out the lyrics for me before I can do that. Then I can finish it all. Pats in Pajamas is having ice cream with a side of ice cubes for lunch. That actually doesn't sound too bad. I've been doing non-dairy ice cream because I found out that dairy was affecting the antibiotics I'm on. It doesn't taste that great, but it, curbs the craving for some ice cream. Joking Rogue says, my sister types like that. Her job, she works in a call center. Customers can hear her working. Yeah, I worked in, I was a software analyst for a lot of years. So the financial institutions that would buy our software would call, and I worked in tech support for it. So yeah, I was typing all the time. 19 years of that gives me extreme aggressive typing. Haven't heard of what, Pat? Yeah, the antibiotic. Some of them it does, some of it doesn't. Yeah, I've had to give up cheese recently, but I am having my procedure redone on, let's see, coming up next month, like within the first week. So hopefully I'll be able to go off antibiotics soon. Everybody say a good wish for me and your preferred faith. I appreciate all. Dom and Mackenzie's text messages are taking a minute to load here. There we go. They finally loaded. All right. Let me find where I was. There are so many, like my computer is pretty good with processing, but it takes a minute to load these. They finally loaded, but when I scrolled a little bit, they went away on me. Thank you so much all for the healing vibes. Appreciate it. Thank you, Panda Butt. Yeah, it's just, it is a health issue, but it's minor, just go have a procedure, come home and heal up. Thank you, Tony. All right, let me check and see if these have loaded again. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to scroll much slower this time and hopefully it won't lose the page completely again. Trying to get to the end of February. Okay, I'm at the end of January. So whenever we last read to the end of February, Dom had been begging Mackenzie for time alone for weeks and days and weeks and tried to break up with her. Every time he tries to break up with her, she threatens him. And sometimes it's confusing because, Dom will straight up tell her over and over that he's done and everything, and then he'll just kind of give up and message her. That's common from everything I've read in a situation where you're experiencing domestic abuse and feeling hopeless. I really think he was at his wits' end completely. Thank you, Pats and Pajamas. Mascarpone and jalapeno. All right, let's see. Joking Rogue says it's like she wears them down. Yeah, and we haven't gotten to that part. It's going to take forever to get to that part in their messages, but a lot of people are speculating that he probably never asked her to move in. She most likely just wore him down until he gave in. Oh man, now that I shared it to StreamYard quit responding. It's too big. I hope everybody can hear me okay. Ah, are we still up? Let me know in the chat, y'all. Pat Pajama says she was very demanding to Dom. Well, let me know. Okay, Amos says, yep, we're good. Okay. Everyone's saying yes, can hear you. I can see it. Okay, awesome. It just, on my end there, it stalled out for a minute. Okay, so we're going to start out here. At the end of February. So whatever Mackenzie's talking about, probably hanging out again. Dom says, no, we can't, my bee. And Mackenzie says, shake my effing head. You give time to everyone but me, and it's effing BS. You can't just keep doing this to me. Dom says, stop complaining. Mackenzie says, stop making time for everyone but me. It's literally not okay. You tell me to change in hella ways, and you can't even chill with me. Dom says, yeah, I can't chill till you change your attitude. That's why you need the book. I wonder what book he's recommending. I must have missed that somehow. I don't know. I don't want to scroll up too much and lose where I was again or have StreamYard start acting weird. Mackenzie says, if you think that's going to help, you're crazy. If I'm getting the book, I'm coming over. Dom says, no, I'm not. I'm an effing genius. Mackenzie says, like you really be making time for people that just be using you most of the time. I don't think geniuses are mean to their babes. Dom says, block again. Mackenzie says, it was a joke, LOL, chill out. Dom says, no, it's not. You blocked. Well, I mean, he's still texting her, so she's not. Because he says, don't, brah. Dom, you get mad way too fast. Did you unblock? Am I unblocked? Dom says, yeah. He unblocks her. Wow, it goes from the 23rd with did you unblock to the 29th with am I unblocked and him responding yes. So either there's just text missing or they actually didn't talk for a few days there. I don't know. Mackenzie says, you better stop being weird around me. It makes me sad. Dom says, I'm not trying to. Mackenzie says, you just be walking away from me when I try to be around you and I want to party with you. Like I want to be around you. Babe, where you at? Where are you? Dom says, what are you doing now? About 40 minutes later. Mackenzie says, I'm waiting for you, Bab. Mackenzie says, where are you at? Beb, when are you coming up? Dom, LOL, I'm going in your room. Is everything good? LMAO. Yo, do you hear? And Dom finally responds, what's going on? Mackenzie says, bruh, did Kyle hit her? It's loud AF. I just went down. What happening? Oh, this is a new character. Does anyone know who Kyle is? I'm going to go back to the comments real quick. Have y'all heard of this? Panda Butt says, oh God, I forgot why we're all here. Stage says, that would drive me crazy, right? Oh my God. Like, she is begging to come over all the time. The Book of Chillax. Throwing the book at you. Oh, that makes sense, Amos. I feel she just started staying there so often that she considered it living there. That could be. Kung Fu has never heard of Kyle. Yeah, I don't know who this new character is, and doesn't sound good. Sounds like somebody got hit, like he hit his girlfriend or something. Anyway, let's keep reading. Dom says, is everyone still in the bathroom? Mackenzie says, yes, they coming out. Me, Maddie left, so everyone did. Dom, okay, wait a little and sneak back up and grab the bottle and come to us. Mackenzie says, where the bottle? I'm up here. And then it goes to the next day. The next day at 11:58, like almost noon, Mackenzie says, waffles with chocolate chips? And Dom says, sure. So I guess we don't get any more detail on what the hell happened there, but I don't know. Like, it's very odd to me that she would go back to get the bottle after somebody got hit. Like, well, what's happening? Okay, Dom says, sure. Mackenzie says, or pancakes? Dom, yeah, we can do that. Mackenzie, bet, babe. Dom, which one? Mackenzie, whatever. I don't care right now. I hope I have time to eat one. You pick because I might not have time to eat. When you're done, come here. Oh, Mackenzie says, hella FAGS here today. Oh, hey, Dave. He wants in the show. Good Lord. And this is nowhere near the first slurs we've seen her use. She just keeps getting worse with them. Let me check comments real quick. Kung Fu Panda says, sounds like some Waffle House teleportation. Right? Yeah, Mackenzie. What the hell, Mackenzie? Dom says, for real, like who? Dave, you got to get your tail out of my face and microphone here, buddy. Here, say hi to the people. Say hi. Here we go. Okay, Dom says, for real, like who? Me and Chris was about to come get subs. Mackenzie says, Griffin and some of his friends. If you come, say hi to me. Dom says, should we go take his shit? Mackenzie says, LMAO, yeah, Griff so gay. Oh, so she was using that slur literally. Oh my God, it gets worse. Mackenzie says, a Muslim kid, Taco Bell's so busy. Dom says, that's what I was about to say. I was going to say hi, but there are so many people. We just trying to get out. Yeah, all those slurs, and then they just move on to something else and don't talk about it anymore. What the hell? Just crazy. Panda Butt says it's all connected now. Tinfoil hat time. Okay, I'm going to have to put Dave out of the room for just a moment. And Dave was not going to allow me to finish reading here. Passive Pajama says, this girl has a problem with everyone and now gays. Yeah, she, If you any of you watch Rotten Mangoes, sorry, I feel like I'm about to sneeze because I picked up Dave and got some of his fur. Highland Girls is all I bring Dave back. Mary Cal heard the little meow. I did wonder about that too, Rainbow Ribbons. McCatherine says Dave just wanted to show off his butt. He's bad about that. He doesn't realize this is a family PG channel. Oh man. Anyway, yeah, on Rotten Mangoes, Stephanie Sue recently went over some of the Rosie stuff, and she read the same thing that I read whenever I was reading the Rosie text, where Macckenzie says that one of the issues with TikTok, well, it's ran by Asians. Like seems to have a problem with everybody. It's crazy. That's the dang truth, Highland Girl. Okay. Let me get back here. Okay, Dom says, trying to get out. Macckenzie says, what? Come. It's not busy right now. There's no one in line. Dom says, I'm about to get my food. Macckenzie says, LOL, I see you. I just looked and I see your hair. Come over here when I get your food. Dom says, LOL. Macckenzie says, I just seen a puff of curly hair and red. And I'm like, Dom, come over here soon. Where are you at? Was his hair red? I thought it was dark. Like almost a brownish black. I don't know. I might be mistaken. Or maybe he had changed it different times. Dom says, we left. There was hella people. Macckenzie says, damn, okay. Dom says, I walked over and grabbed napkins. You were too busy. Macckenzie says, LOL, you should have said hey or some. What you do now, though? Work started to be GAYAF. What the hell, Macckenzie? Brett won't let me eat. Dom says, about to smoke a blunt. Y'all probably really busy. Just wait. Macckenzie says, he gave everyone break but me. Mom closes at 6. Like, I haven't ate all day. I'm pissed AF right now. Dom says, then go on your break. Maybe they have no one to cover for you. Macckenzie says, Blake is here. I asked to go on my break, and he literally said, I'm not getting one today. I'm so effing mad. And at 6, everything is closed. So, what can I get? Literally nothing. I'm about to be home right now. I'll text you when I'm out of the shower. What you doing? Dom says, I'm eating. Macckenzie says, let me come over. I have a ride, Bab. Dom, LOL. Dom says, one sec, let me see. Macckenzie says, okay. I got to tell you some F shit. LOL. Babe, LOL, just let me come. Dom says, okay, just come. Macckenzie says, on my way now. And then they go to the next day. Macckenzie says, what up, Bab? Dom. Dom says, what up? Macckenzie says, what you doing right now? I'm going to the doctor today. Dom says, in school. For what? Was your pee ready? Ooh. That's not good. Sounds like she did have some sort of stomach issue there. Macckenzie says, LMAO, no. Like my stomach, lower part is hurting so bad, like I can barely walk. Dom says, what if we all got chlamydia from Antonio? Macckenzie says, LOL. Dom said, mine hurt really bad too. Macckenzie says, I just heard about that too. LMAO, Antonio. Yeah, I'll let you know what happens. I'm in so much pain. Dom says, okay. Macckenzie says, Gracie want to sue Carl. She told us today. Dom says, how? Carl should charge Gracie. Macckenzie says, the grape thing. Dom says, yeah, but how would she sue him? Macckenzie says she screamed at him today for spreading it. She's saying it's not grape. Dom says he said he didn't get graped. Carl doesn't even think he did anything with Gracie. Macckenzie says, yeah, she told us that he's telling everyone it was grape. This effed. I don't understand what is going on there. Good Lord. I'm trying to check comments, but once again, my StreamYard is being super slow. It's not wanting to load them where I can see and put y'all up on screen. So I'm sorry, I'm not ignoring everyone. But yeah, like it seems commonly accepted that somehow one person gave a group of them chlamydia and then they're casually talking about grape accusations. Very, very weird. And I think it's about to get weirder as I keep reading. Okay. Mackenzie says, Carl, so dumb, LMAO. Look what I did. Unblock on Insta so I can send a pic. Dom says, I did. Mackenzie says, look, LOL. Bab, I feel really bad, like I'm going to puke and my stomach killing. I feel like I'm dying. Dom says, just puke and go to the bathroom. I felt like that this morning. Mackenzie says, I can't move. I'm curled up in a ball. Sorry, y'all. I'm really allergic after Dave jumped up here. I'm curled in a ball. I keep getting cramps that hurt so bad. I'm going now. Wish me luck, Bab. Dom, what you going for? Mackenzie, I don't know. My cramps and pee. I haven't been able to move for 3 hours. And I still am getting repeated cramps. When I'm on the way back, want to chill. I'm getting food after. Like she feels like she's dying, but she's positive that on the way back, she's going to want to chill and get food. Like, what is going on there? Oh crap, StreamYard's not responding again. There we go. Jupo says listening at 1.5 times speed to find out about the yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I'm gonna try turning off my camera and see if that helps. And I'm also about to sneeze. Just a moment, y'all. Yeah, Pats, I'm actually we have 3 and I'm allergic to all of them. I just learned that recently. Um, what it was is I my allergies have been really, really bad for the last 5 years, ever since I moved in with 1970 down here to Southern Oklahoma, away from Missouri, and did allergy tests and found out I am allergic to our cats and I'm also allergic to pecan tree pollen, and I happen to live in an area that's famous for pecan tree farms. So, yeah, I didn't know that because I love eating pecan nuts, and I had no idea that I was allergic to the tree pollen. I didn't even know that was possible. But anyway, let me go back to reading this. Um, oh, another thing I wanted to say, let me Google something just real fast, y'all. Give me just a second because having those open has got my computer running slow. But something that's been disputed is at what age Mackenzie and Don began their sexual relationship. And I think, by him saying we all got chlamydia, sounds like they had a sexual relationship. Would y'all agree? Here in March 2020. So I want to see how old she was at this time. Okay, so her birthday was August 2nd, 2024. Sorry, everything's running so slow that it takes a minute. Okay, so then if I go to the age calculator, which also is taking a minute to come up. Like Jeopardy waiting for it. Good grief. Okay, so August 2nd, 2004. To March 2020. 15 years, 7 months. Okay, so it appears to me that they definitely had, a sexual relationship when she was 15, which lends credibility to Dom feeling absolutely threatened because once he was no longer a minor, then the threat was real that she could turn him in for statutory rape. And in addition to the fact that she was threatening to turn him in about his dealing and other stuff. So he had no way out. I don't doubt that he felt depressed and absolutely overrun because we see him trying to get rid of her for literally years in these texts. Thank you, Jupo. Yeah, it really sucks, but we did get some filters and got a filtered vacuum cleaner and stuff trying to help, but yeah, it's rough. Hey Sonia, glad you made it in. Good to see you here. Choking Rogue says they could have contracted anything. Luckily that's something to be resolved. Definitely, yeah. Ruth Carroll says jail bait. Yeah, she had him with a legitimate threat forever after that, once he was no longer a minor. They were still together. Panabet says, I get they were young, but this is all escalated behaviors. The vaping, the weed, drinking, group stuff. Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. So I don't even have more to add to that to say, like, that says it all. It was just extreme escalated behaviors. Okay. Dom says, I'm smoking with Kyle. Well, that's wild considering, I mean, I guess we didn't get a yes or no on whether or not Kyle hit someone in their conversation at the party, but it sure sounded like it. And now Dom's just chilling with him. So that's interesting. Mackenzie says, oh, well, I'm just getting to the doctor after I'm saying I can bring you food. You want yes or no? Dom says, oh, nah, we just chilling with the N-words. Mackenzie, okay, LMAO. Just let me know if you want. I'm in line right now. Dom, okay. Mackenzie, LOL, too late. Now I just ordered. Me and Maddie just made some TikToks. I guess doesn't feel like she's dying anymore. And it's just like 2 hours later. Maybe they give her medicine. I don't know. Me and Maddie just made some TikToks. Watch them. LMAO, answer my shit. If you can talk to Maddie, you can't text me. Haha. Dom, what up? Mackenzie, N-word. WTM, me and Maddie bored. Dom, my car got a flat tire. Mackenzie, no way. Then just have Kyle get us. Or we can get a ride. Dom, how? And we going to get food right now. Carl's mom is driving us. Oh, and that's the person who was maybe a grape victim, Carl? I don't know. Mackenzie, then just come get us. Carl's mom can just have a packed car. Dom, no, we full car. Maddie's is far. Mackenzie, LMAO, I can always have my mom drop us off after you get food. Where are you getting food? Dom, Bab. Dom, the mall. Mackenzie, answer about the first thing. Answer, Dom, LMAO. You can just tell me yes or no, so I'm not sitting here wondering if me and Maddie found a move. Like, it's really easy to just text back. Dom, I'm on 1%. You can come over when I get home. Mackenzie, better save your percentage till then, and me and Maddie will come through. When are you going to be home? Dom, like 5 minutes. Mackenzie, okay, bet. Just let me know when we can come because we both ready. Dom, I'm home. Mackenzie, okay, we coming. Dom, when you getting here, it's getting later. Mackenzie, I'm about to be there. We close. Good night, Bab. Sleep good. So she must have got there and got to hang out because that one was about 2 hours after the we close. Okay, I think I'm going to start winding down here, friends. And we will hopefully pick up tomorrow. Let me check comments real quick. McCatherine says he was damned either way with her. Yes, absolutely. Sonia Stranger, lots of hearts. Thank you. Murray Kell says they lived a crazy life before they even hit the age of 20. Wild. Yeah, it really, really is. It's shocking and makes me wonder about their brain development and wonder a lot more about her parents and, some about Dom's a little bit. Panda Butt, oh yeah, and the violence. Right? Yeah, for real. Z Raven Girl says lots of folks are having StreamYard issues. Oh, good. I'm glad it's not just me. I'm not glad everyone's having problems, but I'm glad to know it's not just my system or anything. But yeah, I'd probably keep going on quite a bit longer, but it's annoying to have every single thing I would want to look up or switch around or check your comments take so long to load. So hopefully it's better tomorrow. Yes, take care, everyone. I will see you all tomorrow. Hope everyone's having a good day, friends.